What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. It is the 4th day of January, this brand new year here, sitting at $91.1 thousand with 9 hours and 16 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, okay? We've also got about 9 hours left in this week. What a nice week it is to close right here. I mean, 9 hours is a lot of time. We can absolutely come back down. I mean, we're only up 3.6%. We could absolutely move that percentage down over the next 9 hours. It's very possible. But assuming we close here or higher, it's actually a really nice look. We're closing higher than any other weekly close of this range. And we effectively have engulfed the last like 2 weeks worth of closing price action, 3 weeks, 4. I mean, we engulf everything as far as closing price action goes over the past 4 to 5 weeks here with this week closing like this. So that's actually a really nice sign in itself. We are moving up. And yesterday when I was making my BTC video, I was bearish on Bitcoin. I wasn't really bearish on anything else though. Like every other crypto that I was looking at, I wasn't really that bearish on. There was some hesitations to be bullish only because I had a bearish outlook on Bitcoin, but I think I was just wrong about Bitcoin. Maybe the bullish outlook I was seeing on everything else was a foreshadowing of the bullish things to come for Bitcoin. We'll see. Right? It is possible that even though we've moved up a little bit, we've gone up to 92K, it is possible we can move down from here. We could still go below 87K, but my thoughts on that might be that it's a little bit less likely today than previously assumed. But we'll see. I mean, we are at this point here where we just got above these highs. This is kind of the perfect area to turn around, right? Bitcoin loves to get just above these highs, and then that's where it turns around, or gets just below these lows here, and that's where it turns around, right? We'll see. Let's look at the short-term stuff, and then we'll zoom out. 1 hour time frame here. Looking at this, you are moving up more, and there's a lack of volume in comparison. We're on the index. I want to use Coinbase. I feel like the index's volume is not as reliable. Okay, yeah. So that doesn't bode well. I wouldn't be surprised if we had bearish divergence. We have very minimal bearish divergence. It's not how I thought it would look, but that's okay. I wouldn't be surprised if we at least came back down to 90K, but it's very possible that we go back below 90K. That'd be my suspicion here. Rejecting the overbought zone. You were trying to get back into it, but you just rejected it. You are pretty reset with your stochastics, in all fairness. You do have higher lows in your RSI overall. I don't hate this chart, man. It actually, the volume I don't like. I don't like the volume, but everything else is actually kind of nice. And you technically did have volume come in when you pumped. It's not the same volume as you had here, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the same. 4 hour time frame. I would just say with this breakout, I would have expected more volume, but it's not. We haven't really made the move yet, I guess. So I mean, we have, but in the grand aspect of this, like this little bit up here is not the move. We've probably got more to go. So maybe you pull back to about 90 and a half, 90,600, $90,000 itself, and then you move up, maybe. 4 hour time frame, looking at the RSI, no bearish divergence there, to my surprise, actually. Wow. It's not a bad look. Not a bad look. A little bit of bearish divergence on the MACD. But again, if we go down to like $90,000, that absolves that bearish divergence. I think I was wrong. And it's time to call a spade a spade. And with that, my friends, maybe, just maybe, I mean, I don't want to get people's hopes up. It's been a second since I've said anything on the lines of what I'm about to say, but maybe we're going to break out of this range. Maybe this is the beginning of this move that does break us out of this overall range here. Just like here, when we were consolidating, we didn't technically break out until right here. Right, this is our little consolidation range at the base here. We didn't break out until over here, but the move started here. Are we in this phase where the move's starting? We're still in the consolidation phase. Are we in that phase now? It'd be interesting to see. Looking at the daily RSI, daily time frame looks phenomenal. We've shifted from a very bearish looking RSI to neutral to now a bullishly implied RSI here, getting above the 60, staying above the 60. It's nice to see pushing further. Stochastics look good. The MACD looks good as well. The only issue that I have is the volume. But in all fairness, I mean, if we really boil it down, you don't really need much volume until we're breaking out of this range. So the fact that we have little volume coming up here, it's not necessarily ideal. You want volume to build as you're building. If you want to see the price going down, you want volume to build as you're building. But it doesn't really need to come in. We don't really need to see a lot of volume come in until we're above this level here, above like $94,000. And when we're above there, that's whenever the volume on a daily basis at least should be trending higher with the price. Overall, and this was an assumption that we made back, I want to say, sometime in the beginning, if not the middle of December. Overall, I really wouldn't be surprised whether we go down from here, we go up from here, we move sideways, whatever it is. I wouldn't be surprised if this overall range was some kind of BART in itself. We had all these BARTs over here. We stopped getting BARTy basically in the middle of December, and since then it's been very neutral kind of wiki price action, but less BART-like, right? But overall, I think we've got this giant BART-like bottom, and when we come out, we will likely move up. This move up, mark my words, will be faster than this move down was, okay? So this took from a low, actually, we probably, and again, I actually would compare it to this move. Not the overall move, not the high to low here. I don't think that we're going to BART out all the way up to this level here to new all-time highs. I think we're going to BART out all the way up to these levels and maybe just above there, 116K, roughly around there. So this is the move that I think. I don't think that we'll move to new all-time highs faster than we move down here. It's possible. It's certainly possible. But what I'm trying to say is from this point here, from this 116K lower high there, from where we are now, whenever we do make this move, whenever this move does happen, it will be faster than the move from here down happened. This took 25 days. So essentially, if we're starting this move now, if this is the move, then in 25 days or less, we should be back above 116K. Which, by the way, not telling anybody what to do here. While this is loading, it's just taking such a long time. Come on now. Anybody know any good jokes? All the jokes I know are just not PC. They're not politically correct. And they are funny, but they're not meant to be taken seriously. So if I say it out of context, people can get all twisted in a knot about it. Crypto. Let's go to crypto. It's taking forever. I'm going to see if I can speed it up a little bit. Hold on. Nope, this is taking too long, so I don't really care. I would just bet. I would bet that if you went to crypto and you went on, like you clicked on the option, when will Bitcoin be above $200,000, and you put it at like by the end of this year, I bet the odds are pretty low. But if in 25 days from now we're back above here, I bet the odds would go up a lot. I'm just saying there's opportunity to be made in prediction markets if your internet is not slow or you're not on a schedule because you're making a video. Anyways, guys. The thought then would be that if this was to take 25 days, maybe we started this move back here, right here. Maybe by the end of this month we are back above there. That would be crazy. That'd actually be pretty crazy. I don't know if I see that happening. Therefore, I don't really know if we're starting that move now. But we are certainly making headway. Whenever the move does happen, whenever we are breaking out, whenever we are moving higher, I just expect it to be faster. That's all that to say. Looking at this on the weekly time frame, RSI looks great. Bounced right off the oversold zone. I mean, it couldn't be more picturesque. It looks just like it did back here, does it not? Is it not the exact same little maneuver, just we don't have this yet? Right, like it's literally the exact same little maneuver. It's just you're coming from the top down here, where here you're coming from the bottom up. That's the primary difference there, but it's pretty similar. This is, by the way, the beginning of the bull market. This was the end of November 2022. It's literally the low of the bear market right there. Right, we've got our low here as well. Stochastics look good. Reset coming out. This would be really nice if we closed here this week and then we close next week green. I mean, if we close here, fine. The orange is not crossed out of the oversold zone. Remember, back here a few weeks ago, back in the beginning of December, we were excited because the blue got out of the oversold zone, but we were waiting for the orange to also get out of the oversold zone, but it rejected. And we were like, that's not good. We don't like that. That could promote a rejection. We got a little bearish because of that, but things have been pretty neutral since then. So now we've had time to reset, and we're coming back up. The blue is back out of the oversold zone. The orange is so close. If we close this week green here and then next week closes green, they'll both be out of the oversold zone, and that will be a very powerful signal to anybody who watches significant time frames with a significant indicator like the stochastics. That'll be a significant bullish signal. People would start to flip bullish, mark my words, over the next 2 weeks with something like that happening. On top of that, you've got the prospects of the MACD crossing green on the weekly time frame. Just like it crossing red has not really been good for us historically, crossing green is typically very good for us. So I mean, all of these bullish stints have happened with that, and then all these bullish stints also happen whenever the stochastics come out of the oversold zone, when the RSI has bounced from this 40 area and we've gone up. We're just coming up from the 40 area now. I think we look very bullishly postured here, and likely our next target destination should be somewhere at the top of this range here. What we do after that, kind of depends. We could move up to about 94.6K. 92.7K, maybe it's not that much higher. We could consolidate from there, come back down. I mean, the possibilities are pretty abundant here. We could just move down from here. We could find a higher low relative to these lows. We could find a lower low relative to these lows. We could get a lower low throughout this whole range still. And still from there, come back up and remain victorious. It's just crazy the amount of possibilities we have here, because we are really moving up with low volume. We are in low volume environments. If there was to be any selling pressure, we could come back down. But I'm sticking with the upside. I think we are going to push up higher. I think that these higher targets are something to be anticipated. And I'm curious to see if we do something similar to what we did last time, which is where, relative to this here, your lower highs, you kind of break out of your range, then you consolidate just above it, and then you really get the breakout. Then you really get the breakout move. I'm wondering if we get just above our range here, we get just above this level here in this little box, we consolidate somewhere between about like 96K and maybe 92K, and then we continue to rally. That would actually be a very, very bullish setup. And the way that I have it drawn here would be like we'd rally in the middle of January. I don't think it'd be then. I think it'd be the end of January. But just very curious to see what happens next. All I want to say, because I feel like I'm rambling at this point, is I think I'm wrong. I think I was wrong yesterday. My assumption that we would go below 87K it's not off the table. It's still a very possible outcome. I just think the statistical probability at this point is that we don't go below these lows. However, again, I want to say in my consistent ramblings, if we do go below these lows, if we do go below these lows, if we do go below this low, it does depend on how we do it, but I still don't think that inherently means that we're bearish. We have seen slightly lower lows here, right? You consolidated all this time. You had this low. You were holding up these lows here. As soon as you went below it, boom, that's whenever you rallied. You were consolidating here. You had this low for the longest time. You held that low. As long as we don't go below that low, we're fine. But I become bearish if we get below that low. How many people said that and did that, and they got bearish at the worst possible time? We saw lower lows in this very sideways consolidation phase. Here, we saw a lower low before we rallied up to technically new all-time highs. Right? Technically, we had a slightly higher high before we rallied to the downside. Right? The market's been very tricky. The market's been very, very tricky, and I wouldn't be surprised if more trickery came. But at this point, I'm not calling for that. At this point, I'm not calling for us to go below these lows. Yesterday, I was calling for us to go below 87K. Now, I'm calling for persistence to the upside. I don't think that we're doing this right now, but I think that move is coming. I think right now what we're doing is we're loading up for that move, and then mid to end January, that should be when we kick this move off, and it should be the end of February, if my expectations are correct, the middle or end of February, that we are back around this 116K area. Mark my words, my friends, February is going to be an absolutely spectacular month. February and March, I think. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.